From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big Saturday morning on LALATE with your incredible updates about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 today. I told you Saturday today you're going to see a major deal potentially announced, and it was announced minutes ago. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, you're going to hear the most major announcement of a generation released minutes ago, and I have been covering it for you over the last few weeks in this fourth stimulus check update. You are going to be shocked. Then the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. We're going to see how much it's going to raise. And then in the middle of this video, we go over all the incredible money you can get, $5,000, $6,000, $1,000. Viewers continue to get that money as well. It's a big morning. It's a Saturday morning, but I told you there was going to be breaking news about fourth stimulus, and the deal has been reached. It's a big morning, and I'll be going over all the details starting this morning and starting right now. Doing? It's Saturday morning and you made it to the weekend. Congratulations. How are you doing? How's the weather where you are? And tell me where you're tuning in from. As you can see, it is relatively sunny here in Southern California, even early, but it's beautiful. Not hot, not cold, so you can wear a t-shirt outside, easy breezy, light onshore breeze from the coast coming in here to Santa Monica. So I hope the weather is good where you are. Drop in the comments where you're watching from. And how's the weather? In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll be going over how much you can get with that fourth stimulus check, when you're going to get the fourth stimulus check, and who gets it. And of course, we'll be going over the major jaw-dropping breaking news that I had been exclusively reporting to you about the fourth stimulus package for the last few weeks. A deal was reached minutes ago, and I'll explain to you why this deal came early and why I was so in-depth on that deal making in the last few weeks. That's coming up in just a second. It's jaw-dropping. It's one of the biggest deals of a generation. Then, in the second half of this video, we'll be going over fifth stimulus. That'll raise your benefits up a lot, and not just now, but a lifetime. And then in the middle of this video, we'll be going over the big money you can still get, and I want you to get it thousands of dollars. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. I'm next live with you with Mornings Crypto, followed by noontime LALATE at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you don't want to miss a single show. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. A YouTube one-year record for a reason. No one goes into the level of in-depth reporting that you're going to see in this broadcast, especially this morning. You're going to be saying, wow, I did not see that coming, LA. Only you would go into some depth like that. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus amount of check and the House bill versus the Senate proposal right off the bat. The House bill from Jalapal provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. That fourth stimulus check monthly provision is the same for the Senate proposal, but for less checks. Let's compare. The House bill from Jalapal provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check from July to December. Now let's look at the monthly amounts. The Senate bill and the Senate proposal and the House bill. The House bill provides the first month would be $2,000, and then the checks every month thereafter would be $1,000. The Senate proposal, the monthly amount is unknown, but word on the street is this. Wow, incredible. That is huge. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Wow. Now let's go back to look at Jalapal's bill and understand why the macroeconomic factors may impact it. Now, Jalapal's bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year, but several legislative insiders believe that they may consider the pandemic over by the time the vote occurs. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill would provide just 1 year checks. If you're in the live chat just after 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate and say where you're watching from. Senate or House, not just yet, but get ready to vote. And if you're watching later in the day, jump into the comments under the video. So Jalapal's bill could end up providing 1 year of checks, which under Jalapal's bill is $13,000 compared to this in 6 months. Yeah, I think you have an opinion now. I think you have an opinion now. So jump into the chat or into the comments and vote House or Senate, which one you like, and tell me where you're tuning in from. Let's go over who gets this fourth stimulus check. You do. So if you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. Single individuals, 75,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couples, 150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. Household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just quadruple it. And if you're on benefits like SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would not come out in waves because it's not a waivable check. Hi, Wave. Hi, Jack. No, it's not a waivable check. It's a monthly check. The fourth stimulus check would not be taxable because it's not income. The fourth stimulus check would have the same amount for everyone, adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone else. Wonderful news. And we don't know anything about child support. But the fourth stimulus check would start in the month of July, for the month of July, because the legislators represent the vote would be by the month of July. Remember, they make the representations, not me. That's your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. The first of 3 parts of that update in this video. Coming up in the second part, you are going to see the jaw-dropping deal that was consummated this morning about fourth stimulus, and your jaw is going to drop. Mine did. It is absolutely not only important for now of this month, but it's important for a lifetime. And I did not see this coming. That's coming up in just a second. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. That benefits will be tied to something called inflation. And the inflationary benchmark is expected to be the highest of a generation this fall. So why will that raise your benefits up so much a lifetime? I'll go over all those incredible details in the second half of this video. But first, let's turn to some moolah. Viewers continue to get that big money, and more viewers got it overnight. Understand how I cover news on this channel. I don't just read news clippings, I help get you money. When this channel launched last year, I got viewers $25 million in EIDL loans by personally handling the EIDL loan applications for people who were stalled during the process and weren't approved. I saved their businesses, I saved their homes, and I saved their employees' homes as well. But then in the fall of 2020, the second stimulus was not getting to the finish line. So I stepped up by helping getting people rent and utilities. That's what we're going to right now. There is a fortune available for you, and it's $350 billion. Well, it's not all for you. It's for you to share. The 349 for you and like $1 billion for me. It's landing your city, counties, and states with the federal government. It's landing last week and it's landing this week, next coming week, and I want you to get it. We're going to go over all those details, but first get a pen and paper ready because I want to go over all those monies for you. And stay to the end of this video because I got a lot of money for you across this entire video. Are you ready? Well, the money is for rent, mortgage assistance, homeowners' utilities, and also renters' utilities. The rent is a fortune, $5,000 approximately for 4 to 6 months of rent. And I'm going to show you where you're going to get it. But it's important to know that every location has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next. One may say no, and the next one may say yes. They also have their own pots of money. Are you ready? Let's do it. You can reach out to City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, State Hall, State Housing Authority. The key words you're going to say when reaching out to them are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say stimulus. They don't know that word stimulus. You also don't say pastrami on rye. They won't know what the world you're talking about. Sir, this is not a delicatessen. Now, if you said corned beef, maybe we'd understand you. So don't say stimulus. They won't understand you. That's $5,000 for rent approximately. Congratulations to Tim and Linda, who already got some of that money for rent and utilities. The next pot of money, boy, you're killing it. One viewer yesterday told me in the live chat that she got $550. She's getting about $550 a month. That is over $5,000 a year. It's over $6,000 a year. It's headed to $7,000 a year. Can you imagine? So let's go over that incredible money. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her daughter, for her son, and her mom. Gail got it for herself. It is SNAP. It's a fortune. Let's go over what it is and how you get it starting right now. It is money for food. You get it by reaching out to Department of Agriculture. They administer it. How much money is it? A lot. $16,000 a year, approximately, for a family of four in Hawaii. Why so much money? Because of two executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden, that raised everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. We're killing it. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of four in Hawaii and $5,000 for rent. And we are only 10 minutes of this video. What's better than that? What's better than that is the second part of this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 and the breaking news and that major deal reached this morning. I'm going over all that right now. It started with a major ball rolling with Chuck Schumer a week ago. Let me bring you up to the present let me go over what happened coming up to this breaking news this morning so you understand where we came from to get here. It started about a week ago when Jalapal, the author of that House bill, wrote Leader Schumer a letter and say, call the vote. Call the vote. So why did Jalapal do that? Because the reconciliation process had begun, but they hadn't called the vote. Well, it got better than that because Jalapal's letter was co-signed by about 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100 House Democrats who wrote the president a letter weeks earlier saying, we are going to put those monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Oh boy, does it get better than that? It does, because last Friday, Leader Schumer did exactly what Jalapal had been urging. And Leader Schumer last Friday confirmed not one, but all three stories that I have been covering on this channel and exclusive reporting. One, I had been reporting that the reconciliation process was already underway. Schumer confirmed that. Second, I had been reporting that the reconciliation final vote would be by July 4th. Schumer confirmed that. And number three, I had been reporting that the reconciliation was underway and would continue to the finish line whether or not the president was doing bipartisan negotiations or not. And Schumer confirmed that. Can we get better than that? Yes. When last Friday, 7 House Democrats then wrote the president a letter, and they said, we are going to work with you to put monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Wow. What does work with you mean? Well, that's a euphemism because the president doesn't write legislation. They do. He's the president. He's the executive branch. Well, who are these people? They are on the subcommittee of the House that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus check legislation. Yes, that's how incredible that news is. They wrote the first stimulus checks. They wrote the second stimulus checks. They wrote the third stimulus checks. And they're now writing the president. They're writing the fourth stimulus checks monthly for the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness. Does it get better than that? It does. And it brings us up to this morning's breaking news. Over the last few weeks, you heard me generally stop at this point and say, I have to explain something that happened to you on Tuesday. It's a little complicated, but I want you to understand it. Well, that's what happened this morning. It's a finality of that breaking news story. I have been telling you that the fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, but that the president had reached out to G7 countries around the globe and had approached them about raising their global minimum corporate tax rate to 15%, and that they tentatively had done so, but that it was just an informal chat. I also told you that the president had told insiders that after fourth stimulus is signed into law, then later this summer, he'll reach out to the G7 countries to get them to put into writing, sign into law, that global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. And when they do that, then he would come back to fourth stimulus and drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is right now. That was the incredible news over the last week or two, where I said he was going to pass fourth stimulus, then come back and drop the corporate tax rate lower. So you would get stimulus checks and a lower corporate tax rate. Well, this morning, he surprised us all, but not exactly. Let's go over why this is absolutely jaw-dropping. Late yesterday, I told you to stay with me this Saturday morning because I had heard a news clipping that was buried in the news that said the president was meeting with the G7 countries about the global corporate tax rate today. And I thought, Saturday? About the global corporate tax rate? We're doing that after the fourth stimulus is passed. Well, he met with them this morning. And this morning, The G7 countries agreed to a global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%, formally without putting it to pen to paper, and they're signing it formally in person next week. Oh my goodness, this is jaw-dropping. We thought this was going to happen after forced stimulus would occur so that he would come back and then drop the corporate U.S. corporate tax rate. Now, in a generational changing agreement, he has gotten the G7 countries to drop the the global corporate tax rate to 15% across the globe, which could signal at this point that the corporate tax rate he wanted higher in the forced stimulus is actually going to be about just a little bit higher than where it is now. This is a jaw-dropping surprise deal that no one thought was coming in the month of June. Everyone thought was coming after forced stimulus was passed in July. This is huge, and now it's pushing forced stimulus to the finish line. No one saw this coming, and no one thought the deal was going to be reached now, let alone signed into law next week. Oh boy, does it get better than that? It does get better than that. And the volunteers, those wonderful people, they're available to get you that rent, utilities, food, and internet. If you've had problems finding that rent, internet, or food, or utilities, reach out to the volunteers. They embody the true spirit of the Purple Power. People helping people. People trying to help people get the money they're deserved. Go to the description of this video. Open the description, and then in there you'll find an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of a house is a link to the community page. That community page is at news.lalate.com. Click the link, and then it'll send you to the web page. There's a picture of some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers. Go lower on the page. Then you'll find the volunteers. They're separated from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out to them. They will help you find that rent, utilities, and internet, as they've done with countless viewers as well. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with more exciting details about forced stimulus still, and also fifth stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on LALATE as Mornings LALATE continues. It's a big morning, and there's a lot of really wonderful news formulating. Good morning. How are you? How's the weather where you are? This is LALATE. Coming up in the second half of this video, more exciting details about forced stimulus as we go over what calling the vote means and the other items you need to know about what's happening in forced stimulus. And we cut to fifth stimulus, breaking details about that as well. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next up, 1 million. Also, like this video, 2,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. All right, let's get right into fifth stimulus right now. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall with that incredible raising of your benefits lifetime. We're going to go over what that means and how it works starting right now. Fifth stimulus raises up your benefits because of a modification to the reform program. Let's go over what they're doing. So they're going to raise up your benefit limits, then remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove an income exclusion, and then remove the marriage penalty. All right, let's go over what that means and how we calculate that and what's the breaking news about this as well. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, or any other benefits like survivor benefits, or one that I may have left out, or multiple benefits, they're going to raise them all up to one big time. Then they're going to apply a benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. Now, the reason why inflation is so wonderful as a benchmark is it's expected to have its highest number of a generation this December. That means that you would step up a huge amount. It's better than the Elizabeth Warren plan because she was going to tie you to CPIE. She was not going to get rid of the other items I'm going to provide you. And she was ultimately not going to give you as much money as this is about to propose to give you. So let's go over how this would work. Well, a lot of analysts, a lot of economists over the last few weeks have been talking about where that inflation rate will be in December. We're currently looking at something between 2 to 7%. Let's just choose 6% for purposes of this analysis. First, they'll raise up your benefits for that one time under fifth stimulus. Then they'll step it up 6%, let's say, for example, as the benchmark in December. But here's what you need to know. It doesn't just step up next year. It steps up 6% a lifetime. Because once your benefits step up one time, they never step down. They step up and they stay the same or step up more. For example, let's say the inflation rate is 0% in 2 years from now. You still stay at plus 6%. If the inflation rate is plus 1% the year after that, you're at plus 6 plus 1%. It's wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand. That is going to go away. It's just time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap. That dates back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away, so you'll be able to work. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. It's horrible. Penalizes you if you are married and prevents you from getting married. Now love is going to win, and that will no longer be the case as the marriage penalty goes away. That's fifth stimulus that goes out in a two-bill, two-step recon process, finished about October, November, they represent, and then the step up land in your bank account in January. Now, what's important to note is that's just one of the parts of the fifth stimulus package. There's a lot of other money in the fifth stimulus package for you. And in a 30-minute video that's at 23 minutes, I never have enough time to go over everything else that's in all the stimulus packages. For example, the fifth stimulus package is called by the President of the United States the American Family Plan, but there's money in there for single individuals. Well, that's the benefit of becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. As members, every day I send out to you a breakdown of what's in the fifth stimulus, what's in the fourth stimulus, and what's in the third stimulus, because it's your money. You don't want to miss getting your money. And if they don't tell you you're getting the money, you won't know that it's there. For example, fifth stimulus has money for single individuals, single hazard pay. It also has money for single seniors. There's a lot of money in fourth stimulus for you as well. And as a third stimulus, there's a lot of money you're entitled to. But unless you go get it, it's not coming to you automatically. So to become a member, click that link. And when you do, you'll get from me via the YouTube community page a breakdown every day. And if you have YouTube set up to go to your email account, it'll go right into email. All right, now let's turn back to fourth stimulus and the incredible details about where we are now with fourth stimulus. The reconciliation process is already underway, and it's a nine-vote process. Let me go over the 9 voting steps so you know what they are. They're required by the Constitution. There's no way to cut the corners. Step 1 starts the procedural steps. Step 1 is the House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. And step 4, the President signs a procedural bill. At this point, the procedural bill or the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to do the tow hitch. Step 5, the House subcommittee finalizes and calls for a vote the substantive bill. It's at that point that the House subcommittee could put in those monthly stimulus checks. Then step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7, step 7 and 8, the Senate does a vote-a-rama. It's a 2-day event. During that 2-day event, they introduce amendments to whatever they got from the House. So if the House did put stimulus checks in, the senators can leave it alone or they can amend. whatever they want to amend. If the House didn't put stimulus checks in, the Senate can amend by putting stimulus checks in. And then step 9, the president signs it into law. At that point, you're finished. It's incredible, great news. Now, let's go back. What's important to understand where we are right now is that the reconciliation process is underway. And I saw someone in one of the comments during the commercial break that had a very negative comment that said, well, it's this day and it's that day of June. No, we have enough time. You know what it's important to understand is that Leader Schumer, the Democrats, the senators know better than anyone else, better than that negative viewer, better than me, how much time it takes to do a reconciliation. And it always surprises me when there's a viewer who's not a senator thinks that they know how to do a reconciliation better than people who have been doing it their entire generation, their entire lifetime, 30, 40 years in political office. They know how to do these things. They know how to do them. And now, while you may say, well, they're waiting to the last day, that's a different situation. But for people who say they're running out of time or they're lost out of time, that's absolutely untrue. And you don't know that because you're not a senator. They are. But now what's important to do know is that we have to push. Purple Power, it's time to do your thing. I haven't asked you to push before because we weren't really at the heart and the heat of the reconciliation. We are now. When it comes to legislators, they sometimes have bills that become laws. And when they're laws, sometimes the money doesn't go out. They sometimes have bills and they don't call a vote. They sometimes have proposals for a bill and then they fold as a lawn chair. So it's important for you to push Purple Power. Share these videos on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Reddit, and tag your elected officials. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. It's always funny where there's one viewer who maybe is new to social media and only tags me, which is very kind, but I'm not the one voting on the bill. You have to also tag the people voting on the bill, not just me. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power, because the spirit of this channel is we're cashing checks, not tracking checks. At no time should you ever think that you are dependent upon the hour and day and moment of which a particular vote is occurring. You should be getting as much money as you can from this channel and making the push now for stimulus. Coming up later today is more exciting news, and boy, it is exciting. I'm back with you in about 30 minutes from now as Mornings Crypto heats up, so don't miss that broadcast. Did I say 30 minutes from now? 10 minutes from now. But then at 11 a.m. is noontime in LA. That is going to be a big broadcast when I go over more about this breaking news about forced stimulus. And then we go into afternoon shows, afternoon to LA and evening to LA. A big day and a big moment. So subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across this board. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay positive. Always stay informed, never get confused, and stay with LALATE for more.